Doop doop doo 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 doop doo. Welcome to the Smeggie Cave. How's everyone doing out there? And hey, Moon, how's it going in here?
It's cold again in the cave.
Always
Turn the
is.
heat up. Turn the heat up. I was just saying before we went live that I just got back from a painful range trip. Only because I had to renew my membership, and that was a lot of money at once. I needed. You know,
Uh,
like $350, one range trip, but that's only once a year.
and when you're a member, does that mean then you can just like shoot for free whenever you want? Or do
Yeah,
you still have to pay when you go?
no. I show up and give them my card. I get a lane.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, and then I can shoot as long as I want. I can take up 8 hours if I want, but I'm never gonna do that. It's crazy. Sit in an indoor range lane for 8 hours and just shoot. That would get boring.
Yep. Yeah, it's different if you're, I don't know, like on an outdoor range and you got different stuff or whatever. Like I've shot all day before, but that's been up north.
Yeah, same here. I'm outdoors if I'm shooting all day. We have a range close to my other gun shop, outdoor range, and that's $15. Get you in all day. And as long as you have all they make it take like get a safety certificate for each bay or area, range or whatever. They got a pistol range, rifle range, shotgun range. So if you're done paying for all those, then it's like $15 a day for the rest of the year, all day. But they got nice facility. It's not like you're getting what you pay for, basically. The other places are like the game lands where you're paying $30 a year to have access to the whichever state land it is. And then it's kind of boring. Typically nobody around, which is all right. But then when they are around, it's just a bunch of old guys giving you dirty looks because they're there to sight in their deer hunting rifles. And they're like, is that an AK-47? Is that an
Like,
assault
yeah.
rifle? Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's I like hunting or I like shooting on my own property. That I think is the most fun. Then you don't have any weirdos.
Yeah. That's where I shoot in my dad's backyard. And I shoot all day, go in, get a hot sandwich or a cold sandwich, whatever. Just a delicious meal. And a drink, come back out, shoot some more. It's the life right there.
Yeah, there was one time I was up there with my buddy and like we were shooting all day and I was like, "Man, I'm getting a little hungry. Want to like, you know, go inside and grab some lunch or whatever?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm a little hungry too." We go inside. It's like 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. I'm like, "Oh, you want to pack up the guns and then just start eating dinner?" Like I guess we skip. I mean, we started shooting out at like 10 o'clock in the morning or something.
Yeah, time flies when you're
And
out
it's
there.
like, all right, if it's this late, yeah, we might
Having
as well because we
fun. I
could have
don't know
left the
why I'm
stuff
waking up
outside
so.
because it was nice out, no threat of rain or anything. So we left all the stuff sitting on the table and went inside. And then once I realized, like, oh, it's kind of late, so basically, I think I was like, all right, like you start cooking dinner and I'll go go pack up all the stuff. My buddy's a cook or a chef, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess chef's the right way of saying it. Cook's like a derogatory term, but he makes good food, which is why he's on food making detail.
That's his job.
Yep. I'll do the dishes. You cook. That's kind of that's the trade.
All right, I'm gonna go mute for a second. I gotta run into the convenience store for some convenience.
Mm. Is the phone on speakerphone? I hope it is, in which case, give me all your money. No, I'm just kidding. Bob did that to me one time when I was in an airport. I was on speakerphone and I told him, I'm like, hey man, I'm sitting at an airport, just on speakerphone because I didn't have headphones or anything. And I found a terminal that was like, it didn't have a plane leaving for the next like 6 hours, so like no one was sitting there waiting. So I'm kind of sitting off in the corner. And then Bob's like, "Oh, you're at the airport? Well, in that case, did you get all that stuff for the bomb? Like, how did were you able to get past security with all those guns or what?" I was like, "Bob, like, legitimately, shut the fuck up. Like, you might actually get me in trouble. Can't joke around about that kind of crap." I can only imagine what he would do if it's like, "All right, we're crossing the border," and then he'd be sitting there joking with the border agent. Like, man, good thing you didn't find all those drugs. And it's like, shut up, dude. They don't take jokes. A job with absolutely no sense of humor.
Yeah, I think I heard that. I think I heard that one thing when Bob was saying that and you were in the airport.
Yeah, I was like, could you please shut up?
Leave it to Bob to be the cause of you getting molested by the TSA. Like if someone asked you, why were you molested by the TSA? And you said, Bob, they'd be perfectly understood.
Yeah,
Like, oh, okay.
that's the end of the story, right? You're just like,
Yeah.
oh, they're like, oh, okay. Like,
Yep.
you don't need to explain more.
Funny. So many cops here. It's like like they just had a convention at the convenience store. A convenient convention. Police. They're
Whoop,
everywhere.
whoop. That's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop, whoop,
That's the sound of the beast.
whoop, whoop. That's all I know
We
of
need to
that
get
song. I like that
KRS
part.
One. We need to get KRS One in these chats.
Get who?
The guy that sang that song.
Oh,
The guy that did that song in the first place.
oh yeah. Let me call him up.
Yeah. We'll get DB. He knows. He's got all the hip hop hookups.
TB probably does know him, so yeah, that would work. I haven't talked to DB in a while.
He hasn't jumped on in a while. He hasn't said anything in the Instagram DMs lately either.
I'm worried
Probably
about
busy
him. Is he okay?
breakdancing. Breakdancing for Beretta money on the streets. On the streets of Atlanta. So glad I warmed up my coffee before I left work. It stays hot all through the range.
Nice.
I didn't really see anything I wanted to buy in particular. They do have some nice CZs. I mean, they have all the the higher end CZs. Like, they
Oh,
definitely have a Shadow
I
2.
see how it is. It's like breaking up with your girlfriend, and then you see her like in the fancy makeup, and you're like, well, I mean, maybe I could take you back. She don't want you back, bro.
Well, I don't know if you were in the chat. Maybe not. But I did see, last time I was there, I saw an OD Green CZP09, which was pretty awesome. And it was not expensive, so I was almost like, maybe I should go home and get my Beretta APX and finally get rid of that. But I restrain myself. I'll hold on to the APX as a trading piece because I don't think Beretta's going anywhere
Use a
with that.
fireball, you dummy.
I tried to hope. Tried for hope and change,
Mm.
but I don't think Beretta's going anywhere with that. When's the NRA show? April 6th? 3rd through the 6th?
No, the NRA is like
Oh,
later in the
that's
month, if not,
Tulsa.
yeah, Tulsa's like next
3rd
weekend.
through the 6th or something. Yeah.
But I think NRA might even be the first weekend of May. I don't know. I'm not going, so I've lost track of it.
Yeah, it's fucking gay. The only thing I've been waiting for NRA for was for Beretta to announce a compact APX. I know the second I sell that thing, I'll see an article on it. Oh, it's coming soon. The gun you just sold, but in smaller version, dick. The one you've always wanted. Yeah. I'll just start buying metal Berettas now.
I agree. I like
Screw you,
metal.
APX.
I mean, I very much was considering the 92 or whatever. When I was looking at guns, I was like, yeah, maybe I'll get one of them. And I mean, I even rented one at the range. Was like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah, I never knew the greatness of them. I always poo-pooed them. They poo-poo. That's like a Bob term.
Mm.
Just fucking just like snub my nose at them. Like, yeah, I've seen that a million times. That's a gun in every movie. Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Beretta 92.
But
And
yeah,
I shot
they are
one.
pretty cool.
And I shot it, and I was like, holy shit. What have I been missing? Kind of like that first time you shoot a CZ, and you're like, holy shit. Why the hell did I buy a Ruger SR9 and a fucking M&P 45?
Why'd I buy this XD compact or whatever?
That's like a Sean problem. Sean's the XD guy. I feel like I'm leaving my keys in the car. No, got them.
Whoop whoop! That's the sound of the police. Stuck in my head. In my head. Stuck in my head. That song. That song. I'll be singing
Didn't
it
that
all
chick
night.
die this year?
I have no idea.
The Cranberries lady?
I I have no idea.
Man, you're not up on current events unless it's gun legislation.
Yes, that is an accurate statement.
We need to attach some of these pop culture articles to some gun legislation articles so you stay in touch with the pop cultures.
The ATF just puts that in their federal registry, like, oh, and by the way, Green Day album dropped this year. You're like, oh,
And Britney Spears shaved her head again. It didn't really happen. But I'll have to rejoin you in a minute because my phone's dying. And I'm fumbling with my keys. I'm probably going to get mugged.
uh,
That's what happens when you fumble with your keys. You get mugged.
that's what all the movies taught me.
Yeah.
That's all right. I can just address the chat for a minute here. Ben, I will not tell Matt anything about top fives because I absolutely hate top fives and top 10 lists. So, no, I will
Yeah.
not tell him anything. Like, you should do this type.
I agree. He should do the type where he never does the top five again.
I mean, I can say it was fun the first couple of lists. It really was. I was like, this is new and exciting, and hearing people argue or whatever, like, oh, come on, just vote for my whatever. Like, I kind of liked it when everyone names something and then it gets like voted on if it's allowed, and then um, then you fight over it or whatever. Like that was kind of fun. But then fucking twice a week, come on, bro, that's too much. I got super burnt out on it. And you always had PBR was always like, especially with the movies, was like, how like obscure movie can I be? Like he was almost like the hipster of the Monday night chat. Like I'm gonna say movies these guys have never even heard of.
Shit. I'm back.
There's a question from the chat from Morpheus that asked if we have any milsurps, and I do not have anything that is milsurp.
I thought he was going to
I,
ask if I wanted the red pill or the blue pill. Because he's Morpheus.
well, it's a Morpheus, but yeah, I just call him Morpheus.
It's not the Morpheus? Morpheus?
No.
No, I do not have any milsurp, but my dad does. And I had a Type 53 Mosin, the Chinese M44. That was pretty fun, but that was as far as my milsurp adventures went.
Yep. I wouldn't mind having some milsurp stuff, but I just don't. I think part of it is like when you see stuff that used to be super cheap and now it's like getting a little expensive, which I get. I mean, like supplies going down or whatever. So it is what it is. But I just go, oh man, like I should have bought that thing when it was $60. Now it's a couple hundred. Fuck that. I'm not getting that. He agrees the Type 53 is so much fun. Well, what's your favorite milsurp, Mr. Morpheus? Or anyone else in the chat, I guess. I've been hearing a lot about the K31. Like there was a while there where like three or four people on gun channels like bought one like in the same month or something. Like it was the new thing. And it seemed pretty cool. And I was like, yeah, I might get one of those one of these days. Any Milsurp AKs on the market? I don't know. I mean, most of the Milsurp AKs are going to be full auto, so I mean, you can get I don't know if they use some of the same part kits or whatever, if that counts. But so I don't know what you would consider that. Yep, sad day in Vermont. That's a true statement. Yeah, so thanks Beaverwood Outdoors. I had mentioned that the other day too. So yeah, it's bump stock ban, 10 round limit on magazines, expanded background checks, raising the age to 21 to buy like any gun. And it all passed and whatnot. But I just saw a thing last night where it was basically the governor saying he would sign it. So that's not cool. I'm hoping well, I don't know. I mean, why would he say he's going to do it and then not do it? So I was going to say, I'm hoping he's just pandering. But since he said it after they signed it or whatever, it's like, well, might be a done deal. And that one really stings because Vermont has always been a pretty free state. Like I know people say, oh, like Vermont's kind of like hippies or whatever, and they kind of are, but they're like libertarian hippies. Like they've always been the type that are just like, yeah, leave us alone. Like people are cool and you don't need to mess with them. So that's it's a sad day for sure. I thought he had me beat for sure. Is Beaverwood even in Vermont or is he just mentioning it? Because Ben's like, oh, sad day for you or sorry for your loss. At least Maryland's got company. Yeah, Maryland's already had company before though, so it's like, it's I don't know, it just sucks. It's a bummer. Oh, you are in Vermont. Okay. Yeah, that sucks. Well, hopefully, I don't know, dude. I don't know where this country's going. I'm not seeing much hope. Trying to stay positive. I really am, but I don't know why raising the age to 21 is such a slam dunk for everybody. Like, why are these people going like, yeah, you don't need your rights till you're older? Like, I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense. And even worse is when it's like it's the kids themselves being like, "Hey, we don't need our rights right now." I don't get it. Because I mean, there are plenty of people that like, you know, turn 18 and move out type of thing, right? Especially if they're in like, a bad home or whatnot. It's like, man, as soon as I turn 21, I'm out this place. Or sorry, see, they got me fucked up. As soon as I turn 18, I'm getting out this place, right? So you got these people moving out like right at 18. And here's the thing, someone who's moving out right at 18 probably doesn't have like a lot of financial security. So they're probably living in kind of a more rough area. So they're gonna need yeah, children abode them. Yeah, we talked about that the other day. Anyways, they're gonna need like more help or whatever because they're in like a bad neighborhood. Need some more protection.
All right, I'm back, y'all.
Cool.
I had to run out to my car and get all my guns that I left in there.
Isn't that always that's always a fun trip. I like looking at the neighbors as I'm walking out with like
Oh yeah, I had my zip hoodie open with my gun in my waistband, carrying 2 bags, a rifle case and a bag on the side, and this guy walks out. He's just staring at me like I'm crazy.
Mm.
Sorry, bro.
You know, well, my one neighbor's a gun guy, and he ends up like there was the one time I was packing up to go up north, and like because my truck's got the suicide doors, it's kind of hard to like load stuff up in the back, like in the garage. So I can't like get the doors all the way open or whatever. And so I always just like I'll back my truck out into the driveway, open up like both doors, and then come out the front door with all my stuff. So I was doing that one day, just packing up the truck for going up north, and it was one of like, it was for a shoot-a-palooza weekend, so I bring up like every single thing I have, and I'm pretty sure I think this is the year, but my buddy had like brought all of his guns over to my house like a few days before because he was leaving, like we were gonna drive together, and he was leaving like straight from work, just coming over to my house. So he dropped it all off because I got out of work earlier than he did. So that way I was able to like pack up the car and get everything going. So then basically as soon as he came over, he can just jump in the passenger seat and we take off. So I mean I had a shit ton of guns I was packing up. And like I said, my neighbor is like a gun dude, so he saw me packing up's like, well, someone's having a fun weekend. And I was like, hell yeah, dude, shoot a palooza.
Shot the AR pistol today. It was pretty fun. It blasted everything like it blasted open a box of wolf gold that was sitting on the table next to me.
Uh,
Like the fucking muzzle blast from the comp that I have on there. It was just blasting everything on the side away, and that was I never seen that happen before. It blasted the cardboard right off of the rounds, and then the rounds were like all scattered all over the table. Like what the fuck? And that was fun. I zeroed that with the iron sights. I need a red dot and different irons, but it works. It's a lot softer shooting since I put the 10.5 inch upper and the H2 buffer in it.
oh. Well, I got links out over on the gun channel side. I sent links to people.
Man, I bought mine on PayPal.
That's up to you. I didn't know you jumped in here.
He snuck in like a ninja.
That Slim Cowboy was asking for one, but I don't. You got a different name over on gun channels or something? I don't recognize that name.
Fat
I didn't see
Cowboy.
it.
Fat
Huh?
Cowboy, you wouldn't recognize him.
Maybe he's like Fat Horse Girl over there or something.
I don't know.
So, oh well. Anyway, I just wanted to administrative note. Wow, $5,000 fine and 1 year in prison for a bump stock.
Fuck that.
It's appropriate. You're trying to kill children. That's what you should get.
Yep. Yeah, because we were just talking a minute ago before you jumped in the Vermont thing. And the guy was like, "I hope the governor vetoes it." And I had to break the bad news that I saw last night. He said he would sign it.
Yeah, Vermont's got gun laws now. The fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, they're still the freaking safest or one of the safest states in the country. I don't know if they're number one specifically, but every time I've seen a thing on them, it's like they're definitely in the top of like the safest, like no crime, nothing bad happens, whatever.
I mean, there's not like waves of bump stock crime going on in up there.
I would suggest there's never been a bump stock crime, but
Jeez. There's still people that say
I feel like
was used in Vegas.
I feel like there's been tension since 1791 in Vermont because there's been no laws. Finally, they can have some mercy since 1791.
yeah.
They're going to ban bump stocks everywhere, and then the FBI is going to come out and be like, he didn't use any other bump stock. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, if they're holding off their report because they know what's up.
Could be. I mean, these are all some of the FBI in there, all freaking Clinton cronies.
217 years it's been Vermont has been without it.
When it's time, enough's enough. Why do you need
They should
217
do
years
it
of
not
freedom?
one more.
Did George Washington even send an I-mail?
No, he didn't have the right to do that.
He didn't even have high speed. He probably couldn't even work like VCR.
Ugh.
Couldn't set the time on it. Modern people can't even do that.
He'd be like, where are the hands? Where are the hands on this VCR? Where do you wind it? Oh, he'd be like, because he's rewinding it.
Saw some guy looking like he was buying his first AR-15 at the range. It's pretty good.
That's cool. Who was it the other day that brought up freaking light bulbs? I know that's really random, but what was that?
Raphael brings him up.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a really good point. Whenever they say like, "Oh yeah, after something bad, like your gun sales spike, like look at all the crazy people or whatever," and it's like, yeah, because they're worried about you banning stuff. And then it's like, look at what happened when they said they were going to get rid of incandescent light bulbs. People went to freaking Costco and bought pallets of light bulbs. Like people just don't want you taking away stuff, and they want to make sure they have enough.
You put those in his mouth, and then you punch him in the mouth to torture.
The thing they were trying to push back in 2013 was like, oh, these people see a mass shooting and everybody's bloodthirsty, so they want to go out and buy the murder weapon. Like, no, you're talking about taking them away and banning them, so people are buying them.
Oh, come on.
Like Twinkies.
No one wants to take your guns. They just want to force you to destroy or turn in your own property for no, you know, compensation. And they just want to ban all semi-automatic guns. No one wants to take them away.
Legislate them out of the hands of civilians.
Yeah. We support the Second Amendment. Come on. We just want to get rid of,
almost all criminals are civilians. So doesn't it stand to reason that all civilians are potential criminals? Stands to reason. It's reasonable.
That's a pretty good common sense. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. Let's turn on our guns, boys. Just turn them into me, and I'll take care of them.
My bump stock identifies as a fixed stock, so it should be okay.
Here's what I think they should make, and they don't make them, and I don't know why. Maybe it's a conspiracy. It isn't, but I think it is. How come? You know how they make peeps? They're little stupid chicks. Nobody cares about a stupid chick, right? And then there's bunnies now, which nobody cares about either. Why don't they make little carrots out of marshmallow? Put orange and green on them so they look like carrots.
I'll eat anything that's made out of marshmallow covered in sugar, so whatever.
Right, I got Moon on board.
I'm a fan of the peeps and the whatevers.
You know what I like
I
the
was walking to the store and they had all the stupid chick kind of peeps and then all the little bunny kind of peeps. And then right in the middle, they had these carrots. And I was like, oh shit, that was awesome. So I went over there and they were something totally different. It was like basically a plastic carrot filled with sugar, I guess. I guess a kid.
Oh, was it like a candy corn type deal?
I don't know, like just a plastic shell and then it was filled with powdered red sugar.
Oh, okay.
Like one of those big
Yeah, I know.
sticks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, that's stupid. And why'd you put it between the two marshmallows? Get my hopes all up and then not have marshmallow carrots. Son of a bitch. Because wouldn't that be awesome? Then you have a little kid and you go, hey, you eat regular carrots? You can have marshmallow carrots.
Yep.
Other things. Have marshmallow bunny. Eat marshmallow carrot. Makes sense.
no. I have to say I like the ones that are marshmallow and then like coated in chocolate. Like sometimes they'll be like little like long skinny bunnies or whatever. But they make them in other shapes.
We can't have those down here.
They're good when it's not that chewy, like mallow, that whatever.
Yeah, but it
marshmallow
is
stuff.
different marshmallowy stuff though. Like it's not quite as fluffy as Peeps.
Oh yeah.
That's because the chocolate kills the air bubbles.
I forget who makes the eggs, the marshmallow eggs, but they're pretty like gooey. It's like,
Oh, you don't
like
icing?
marshmallow fluff in there.
They had, you know what a cranberry cream egg is, right? They had those turned into cookies.
Oh, that sounds good.
I can only assume it's some kind of cookie with the cream goop on it and then chocolate on that.
Yeah.
That's not good. I'm looking for the chocolate on the frosting. Plus, it would make it so that the frosting is only like a thin layer instead of a big glob. Plus, wouldn't it be easy to make a carrot? You just like poop, big, and then little, and then big, and then drawn out little. Done. Carrot on top. Green, orange, done.
Yep, you might have $1 million idea there.
I want broccoli too.
What?
Marshmallow broccoli. It has nothing to do with Easter or bunnies or anything, but I think it would be cool.
All right, here's somebody that just took some like, well, here's what you could do. You could just take some Oreo cookie parts, not the white part, the cookie part, crumble it up onto a plate. Then you take regular marshmallows and lick them, and then stick them in orange sugar, and then stick something green in them, and then stick them on the cookie rubble, and then it would look kind of like carrots sticking out of the ground.
Yeah, because it's like the cookie's dirt.
Right.
Oh yeah, you ever have that like that?
Look like a carrot patch.
You ever have dirt pudding?
Yeah.
No, I'm not poor. Parents are screwed.
They have it. They have different ones.
Wait, did your big sister make you eat that? Because that ain't
They have dirt pudding where like you're supposed to make it in a bucket.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like a dirt cake.
Yeah.
I never ate.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, but it's kind of like that because there's like crumbly stuff that's like the dirt, and then but like I said, we made it with like pudding, so it was like it's like mud kind of stuff. But then you put the little gummy worms in there, so you're eating your little dirt pudding thing and be like, oh, a little worm. Then you eat it. That was good. Man, I cannot think of the last time I had pudding.
You should put chocolate-covered crickets in there. Just mix them all in there.
I didn't put in.
Like, cricket.
I am a fan of pudding. Like it's the stuff you make yourself, because then like you put it in the fridge and it gets like a little skin over the top. Like the little ones in the plastic cups are like okay, I guess, but it's not the same. It does not taste the same at all.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the stovetop pudding anymore.
Oh,
That's all there was when I was a kid, but ever since like snack cups, yeah.
I don't like any of it. I don't like eating old people food. Like I've been too many times in old folks' home. I guess I don't like tapioca. I don't like pudding. I don't like any of that soft food.
I don't eat pudding very often, but if I do, I like butterscotch, chocolate.
Oh, now you're talking. Well, chocolate puddings, but I would not eat it. But butterscotch, I could almost eat like one spoon maybe because I haven't eaten. Is there something that put? Well, I guess a pie. Is there something besides a pie that they put pudding in? Your donut.
Yeah, they do put. It's like basically pudding in a Boston cream donut.
That's custard.
Oh yeah.
I would eat pudding if it was somehow like in some other delivery vehicle that was better than pudding. And there was only a certain percentage of pudding.
I could see like a cake and then like you put pudding in between the layers. I think I've seen that before.
I could handle that. That's enough pudding to like add to it, but not overwhelm it with its grossness.
And I was just thinking that's enough pudding to like make the cake not be dry and like taste good.
You remember when there was pudding cakes for a minute? When they were like, we can't sell enough pudding. Let's make it into cake.
Yeah, banana pudding pie. It's just like a slice of pudding. Some whipped cream.
Exactly. Let's eat pudding, except we're going to put it in a piece of graham cracker.
Yeah, I would be against that because of false advertising. I'll agree with that. I'd be like, I thought I was having cake or pie or whatever. I'll give you that.
When they just put pudding in a shell, then yeah, it's a scam. It's because they bought too much pudding. That's all they do it. Nobody else wants it.
But that's not the same as like the cherry pies that are like turnovers or whatever. I don't know who makes them. Hostess. They're good.
I don't know how we started talking about pudding. So guns are fun.
Food, yeah.
I know. G-Web's always coming in, dude. He does nothing but talk about off-topic stuff, you know? I don't think he even likes guns or something.
Putting rounds down range.
I got to Phoenix and everybody's busy. So I'm like, well, do I go to Tucson and blow off everybody in Phoenix again? Because that's what happens is I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm sitting here for 3 hours doing nothing while everybody's doing stuff until I can get them to sign that fucking poster and then just come up here maybe later or something. See, I might be coming up here to get Jimmy still. I don't know. So anyway, I figured, well, I'll see what's going on. So I met some other people and ate lunch with them. So I had some time between whenever I arrived in Phoenix to when those people showed up. So I worked on this video, right? And I assembled a video on the LA riots. 3-minute, 40-second video. So it's like a long video for me. And then I get done and I come back over here waiting for everybody. And I just spent another, I don't know, hour fucking finishing that video, I thought. And then I rendered it. And then I'm sitting here watching it and it's crap. It's like amateurish, shitty video. And it's all shitty. So that means I think I need to get a mic for in here because it sounds all shitty. And then also I need to learn more skills. So that's how we're talking about guns. It's frustrating having to learn something new because then it's like wasted time. But then it's how you learn by fucking shit up and having to redo it or whatever. So I'm sitting here lifting my wings, trying to get ready to fucking re-edit this thing for the third time. So that it'll get
like
16 views.
So it'll get pulled down.
Steady cam. You need that steady cam thing for sure.
No, not anymore. I got the software can handle a lot of it. So I'm thinking between Steadicam, which is like a thing that the software can do, but then also like zooming in or zooming out or whatever, like but not zooming it, but slowing it down, like slowing down it and then putting it on auto stabilize will probably fix some of the old ones. But I'm just saying I'm not really trying to get to the next level of production as much as just learn the software and figure out what the tools are and stuff. Like I added a picture, and that turned out to be like the size of a postage stamp because I didn't remember that I have to touch each picture afterwards, kind of thing. And the sound just sounds really bad. I have the door open in the van because it's hot as shit here, and it's all that noise. You can probably hear it now.
Probably get one of them stupid lapel mics for when you're doing stuff like that.
Oh, I was thinking like
your voice overcomes any of that outside noise.
Yeah, and those are tuned to like only listen to a little ways away from it. So I was thinking of the kind like what everybody uses for the podcast, where it looks like a thing on an arm and a big foam thing around it.
Yeah, like a radio mic.
Yeah. But I could get one like you're talking about. I wonder if the ones for my phone probably. But it'd probably be a lot cheaper to just buy some little mic.
I think those little lapel mics are what work the best for that kind of stuff. Because you'll notice a difference when people do YouTube videos between when they turn the mic off on their camera finally and started using one of those mics.
Ugh. So, Gunpowder Beauty's out there, which I sent her a link. She said she'd jump in the cave, just go over to gun channels and hop in. But anyways, she says she loves her Smith & Wesson 1911. Okay.
I love it too.
I don't think I've ever shot a Smith & Wesson 1911.
I think they're like the SIG ones. They got external extractors. But they got like cool fish scale serrations on a lot of them.
I'm trying to remember which 1911 my neighbor has. I know I've shot the Ruger, the SR 1911 or whatever. I've shot that, and I don't remember what company my neighbor's is. And then I've shot a Delta Elite in 10 millimeter. That was pretty nice. Oh, nice, man. All right, this is a public service announcement for anyone. I'm going to assume Vermont because we were talking about that earlier, and that's where he's from. But there's a rally tomorrow at the State House, 2:30 p.m. The first 1,200 people get a free PMag.
Nice.
I've never seen someone do that kind of thing at a rally, but that's kind of an awesome idea. And I hate that we have to bribe people to support their rights, but that might freaking work. Especially since they're trying to ban, regular magazines. I'm assuming they'll be grandfathered in. So, like, why not get a free one now? And I guess I don't know for sure that Vermont's going to grandfather in their 30 rounds, but they might. So, anyone near Vermont or in Vermont that's listening right now, go to the State House tomorrow at 2:30.
I think it's a little more than a bribe. It's like a statement outside of the building. Like, what are you gonna do? Come and take our 30-round magazines out of our hands right now?
That is a good point, and that's why they're doing it. That does add some good poetic justice.
And you need to comment to Jeff Sessions for his bump stock regulation. Say, I don't think you look like Smeagol. Plus, don't ban bump stocks.
All right, I guess I picked a bad time to mute there. Sorry about all that dead air. But yes, I completely agree with you, Moon. We need to comment on the ATF's new regulation for bump stocks. There's many different angles to attack it. And we were talking about this the other day. You can send like as many comments as you feel like. And so one of the things is instead of writing like a huge, super long, like, dissertation, just pick a point and send a comment on it, like 2, 3 sentences or whatever. Be very clear, end it with don't ban bump stocks. And then send another one and use the other, another argument. So you can send one that's just like, shall not be infringed, like don't ban bump stocks. And like, okay, that's fine. And then you can use one that says, hey, I think your classification of calling it a self-acting mechanism is false because the user is inputting forward pressure with their offhand. So the mechanism itself does not act by itself. It's not self-regulating. It is not self-acting. Don't ban bump stocks. Oh, there was another thing I wanted to say. So Beaverwood Outdoors, I don't know if you're over there on the gun channels, but you should be. Go over to gun channels and post that thing about the rally tomorrow. Put it in the events, and then it'll show up on the main page. That's part of the whole point of this new media. We can communicate with each other. And there was something else. Oh, what you were saying, I have no idea. So there, I answered your question there.
I don't know where I got it written.
So I know it's Gunpowder jumped in here. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I can't believe you haven't shot a 1911. I mean, that's a little strange.
Hang on, I think you misheard the words I used. I have not shot a Smith & Wesson 1911.
Oh, okay. Well, that is still strange.
Like I said, I know I've shot the Ruger. I don't know what my neighbor has, but I've shot his before, and I don't think it's a Smith & Wesson. Maybe it is, but I don't know. I knew it at one point, and I don't think that's what it was. And then I've shot a Delta Elite in 10mm. So that's my cool 1911 experience.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the 45. It was Tardots, but he's such a great husband. I stole it from him.
Yeah, is that one of those what's mine is mine and what yours is ours type of thing?
Probably could be, but I didn't really ask. I figure it's just easier to ask for forgiveness than it is permission, so I just took it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while. Not sure what happened to it. Bang, bang, bang. What?
Yeah.
I don't know.
As it's sitting on my hip, he sits there and he's like, "Is that my gun?" "No, this is my gun." "Didn't you know?"
Yeah, I haven't seen yours in a while. I know exactly where mine is.
Mine's on my hip. I don't know what happened to yours. It must have been lost in that boating accident.
No. That was the one nice thing about my previous relationship is all of her guns were pink. So it's very easy to figure out whose was whose.
Well, my Barca Thunder is pink and black. It's a great gun, but I just don't like how my hand doesn't completely fit on it. That's partially why I stole Tardots, because my whole hand fits on that gun. I may end up, well, not I may. When we go to Wanamaker, I'm going to be looking for the M&P Shield in 45 caliber because I really like that gun too.
Yeah, I like the Shield. I was considering getting one. In fact, I actually have a holster for one, but I was looking at 9mm.
Yeah.
I got little girly hands,
It was funny because I had gone to Bass Pro Shop And I was looking at the M&P Shield, and the salesman just kept telling me that I need the 9mm. And I was like, I don't want the 9mm. I know what the hell I want. I want the 45. Now, are you going to let me see the 45, or do I need to take my business elsewhere? Actually, I wasn't that nice, but I couldn't jump across the counter and throat punch him because I had my kids with me. And this older salesman came over and he's like, "Can I help you with something?" I was like, "Hopefully you can. I would like to see this M&P Shield in 45 caliber." And he goes, "Oh, that's a great gun. Got it out. I held it. It felt great in my hands. Didn't have any issue." But this dude that I was first talking to, he wasn't. If he was older than me, he wasn't by many years. And he was just, no, you're a girl. You need the 9mm. I wanted to throat punch him so bad. And I was
Yeah,
like, dude,
that's
don't tell me what I want. I came in here because I've already looked at what I want. I carry a Smith & Wesson 1911 and 45 caliber. Do you really think I want to go down to a 9mm? No. And then the older guy, he was like, I got this. And so he sat there and he started talking to me about the 1911. He was like, so what made you choose a 45 caliber? And I was like, I didn't really choose it. It was my husband's. I just hijacked it. And so he started laughing and he was like, okay, so I see you're wanting to get, your own 45. And I was like, no, I just want another one. And
you're
so
like, you don't understand. This one is mine. Do you not?
it's
Did you
mine.
not
It's
hear the
not
words I
going
said?
anywhere. Yeah. So
You
he was
just
like,
want
oh, okay.
you want a smaller 45 to complement your bigger 45.
Exactly. And so he got a real big kick out of it. I was like, yeah, I like the 45. I'm not sure how I'm going to enjoy shooting it, but that's the great thing about our local gun range is they have a variety of guns. And so I can go in there and I can ask them, "Hey, I'd like to rent this gun," and they'll give me the gun, they'll give me ammo, I can go shoot it. And then if I like it, I can be like, okay, I'm gonna buy this gun, or I'm gonna go buy this gun, or whatever. But I've got like 2 pages on it in one of my notebooks of guns that I want to test try. And so every time somebody starts talking about a gun, I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like a really good one. And like, I can't remember who was talking about it, but they were talking about, I think it's the 464. Is that the BMG or? I don't know. It's a big freaking pistol. I think that's a revolver. And I was like, yes, I want that one too. So that's on my list.
Yeah, it is always nice to try them out.
Yeah, I was really headstrong on I wanted a Desert Eagle, but I talked to a couple of people and they started telling me about how the springs go out really easy on the Desert Eagles. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, let me find a different one because I want it to, at least last a while. I don't want to have to keep replacing parts on it. So.
Well, here's a piece of advice then. Guns are devices, machines, right? Made out of very few parts, minimal amount of parts, ideally, that allow control the expansion of gases. A lot of people call an explosion go off in your hand, right? So in order to deal with second law of motion and all that, there are perishable parts and there are parts that are designed to, to die. So springs and buffers and other replaceable parts don't go into a gun thinking this gun is strong, so I don't need to change parts. That's crazy. You don't buy a car and go, I'm never changing springs, I'm never changing shocks. I mean, yeah, you can drive a car forever and never change the shocks, but what's the ride like? You replace shocks when they get bad. You replace brakes when they get bad. So springs that go bad on a gun that's a huge caliber is part of that's like getting shocks on a 4-wheel drive vehicle. You expect to change shocks on something like that. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
I just, from what I've heard, they go out like every 50 to 100 rounds. And so that's why I'm kind of looking into other 50 caliber guns, because if it's going to go out every 50 to 100 rounds, that's going to be an expensive gun to upkeep. But if there's other guns that last, 200 or 300 rounds, that might be something to look into. But
a dog in the
yeah,
fight.
I understand.
I can't imagine a gun that has to be parts replaced every 100 rounds being as popular as the Desert Eagle.
I can't remember who was telling me about that. I was like, man, that totally just kills my little gun buzz I got going on, because that seems like a really high upkeep.
And I'm gonna go with that doesn't quite pass the sniff test to me. I feel like I would have heard that before.
Never mentioned that before.
Yeah.
So it's probably misinformation then.
Who knows what? I don't know what the conversation was. Maybe it was a misunderstanding or something. But yeah, that I'm just saying. I'm not saying to go get a Desert Eagle or nothing. They are giant guns, but I don't know. I'm just saying. There's always going to be different advice out there.
Yeah, it's absolutely correct that they are like cars. You're going to have to upkeep and change out stuff. But if they're going to go out that fast, maybe look into something different. But
I would agree with that statement. But I would just say for me, I would take that 50 rounds or 100 rounds with a grain of salt. It doesn't quite. Like I said, it just doesn't quite pass the sniff test for me. That seems like something that would have flopped a long time ago. I mean, we know. When
I was hearing it, I was like, okay, that just seems really, really kind of shitty, because that's if you're going to be going to the gun range. I mean, Tardot and I go, and we go through 50 rounds easy.
Yeah, that's 2 boxes of ammo. Well, maybe not a giant caliber. That might be 5 boxes of ammo, but I've never heard of parts every 2 boxes of ammo.
And so when I heard that, I was just kind of like, okay, that's going to get expensive, just trying to upkeep on that particular gun.
That advice is to be taken with a grain of salt, because people that own Desert Eagles then don't need to replace springs every 100 rounds. That's like
that makes me feel a lot better
every time you went to the neighborhood store.
Yeah, that's what kind of had me a little off on it, and I was like, man, that really sucks. That's always been like, how people talk about this gun is my unicorn. Well, the Desert Eagle is like my unicorn, because that's just what I've always wanted. And then when I started hearing that, I was like, damn it. But now that y'all said that makes me feel a lot better. It could still be my unicorn.
Yeah, and here's the thing. That might be completely true. So maybe it isn't the one for you. But I would just say...
You don't maybe drive it every day, or like an old car, like an old 57 Chevy. It's not like you're buying it to commute with. But if you want a car to drive on the weekends, a Desert Eagle is sweet.
Yeah, it's not going to be my everyday carry gun. That's just way too much. It's just one of those, I like it, so I want to add it to the collection type of guns. If I shoot it 5 times a year, that's pretty good. Or, maybe once a month when I go to the gun range, that's cool. But the 1911 is pretty much my everyday carry.
And then having a bunch of practical guns is one thing, but then if you are going to bring, like, I don't know, friend out or somebody's kid out, right, who's experiencing guns for the first time, and you want to make it special for them, or somebody's visiting or what, and there's some friend from a long time ago, you want to show them your guns or whatever, oh, here's my practical gun, here's my practical gun, here's my practical gun. That's one thing. But if you can be like, oh, and then here's my fancy gun, here's my Desert Eagle, let's shoot this.
Yeah.
That's the one when, especially if you have someone who's like kind of into guns, but like not really or whatever. Like you said, they come visit or whatever. You know what story they're telling? Not, I shot 3 different types of Glocks. They're telling that story about when they pulled the trigger on the Desert Eagle. Like, I can't believe this person let me shoot their Desert Eagle. It was so much fun. It was awesome. And like I said, you're carrying your 1911, or you got the Glocks, or you got whatever, like your practical stuff. That's great. But yeah, that's like it's a different thing. So I would just say, as far as like that, the thing you heard about them, I think that's a good lesson in, like, whatever, like not necessarily listening to like just one thing. Like I said, it very well could be true. I doubt it completely, but that's, the internet is filled with fanboys and people with false information and whatever. And so if it's just like the first review you read, you're like, well, I guess I won't get that. I can guarantee there is a negative review about like every single gun on the planet. So you can talk yourself out of buying anything if you look hard enough.
Yeah, when we actually go for ladies' gun range day, when we get back from Tulsa, I've got, right now it's about 5 friends. that have said that they're going to go, and they've either haven't shot guns or they've shot, like 22s or something. And so I'm taking the 22, the 380, the 9mm, the
You're going just by
357
yourself?
revolver. No, it's going to be me and 5 girls.
Well, but I mean, no dudes, right?
Yeah, no dudes. I'm pretty much leaving Tardot at the house with the kids because it's just ladies' day, and I'm trying to get more of my female friends into guns, and actually give them that argument of, instead of saying, well, I don't like guns and I think they're stupid for anyone to own. Well, now they can have that argument of, well, I shot them, and they either like it or they don't. And that's why I'm taking multiple calibers, so that way I can start them off with the 22 and then move up to the 45. So that way, whatever they're comfortable with, they can sit there and experience it. And if they go through all of them to the 45, great. But I want them to actually have that. I've shot a gun. I know how it feels. And all of them are moms. And so I'm trying to reach out to these that seem to be more on the fence than anti-gunner. But I want to just get more females involved in the community and hope that eventually these ladies will understand that I'm not one of those gun nuts that, oh, everybody's got to have a gun, and if you don't have a gun, you're a fucking idiot or something. It's just one of those. I got my concealed carry license because I had kids. I didn't want myself or my children to be in a situation where I couldn't protect them or myself, and I wanted to make sure that if there's a big freaking dude who's over 6'4" and heavier than me, stronger than me, and whatever, I can even out the playing field and better protect myself and my kids. It's not one of those, I'm out looking for trouble or I'm looking for the day that I get to shoot somebody. It's a simple, if something should happen, I want to make sure that I can protect not only myself, but my children as well. And I've actually been able to have more conversations approaching the girls that I know by sitting there and bringing up the mother aspect of it. Of, listen, I don't go out looking for trouble. I want to make sure that if trouble should find me, I'm able to protect myself and my kids. I want my kids to grow up and graduate high school. I want to be there for my kids when they graduate high school and go off to college and all of that crap. But if I leave myself in a situation where I could be a victim, there's no telling how that situation is going to go. And so these girls have kind of opened up more since we're meeting on that common ground of, we're parents, we want to protect our kids, we see how fucked up the world is and what kind of crap is going on. It might be a good idea to invest in a gun and get your concealed carry license and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's what I like. That's real cool that it's like you're taking them out there and whatnot. Because to be quite honest, and I know some people are fine with it, but there are like a lot of women that if there's guys around, they either like get nervous or they feel out of place or whatever. So if it's a fun girls' night out type of thing, and they can see it from your side, your point of view, like you said, with like the whole mom thing and everything. That's, I don't know, I really like that. I think that's cool.
That's why when I go shooting, I only go with the guys, because I'm sick of the girls always looking at us and judging us while we're shooting.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I didn't want them. I know that a lot of their issues. I wanted to make sure that they wouldn't have that feeling of guys are trying to tell them what to do, because some of them have gone shooting with their boyfriends or their husbands or something, or ex-boyfriends, and they had a bad experience. The guy sat there and gave them a caliber that was too much for them to handle, didn't tell them how to properly handle it. They had a bad experience from it. And so I'm going and kind of doing the reverse. I'm going to shoot first, show them how you have to wear protective eye and ear gear. You've got to sit there and properly handle the gun so it's not kicking back and hitting you in your face or, stuff like that. So I want them to sit there and feel more comfortable coming from another mom than, somebody who has more experience being like, well, this is how you have to do it. Or I've never had Tardot treat me like that, but there's some people that, they just get way too into it and they're just like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And the great thing about our local gun range that we use, it's an indoor gun range, and they make you watch a video before you ever go step out on the firing lanes. So that's also another good thing. But I'm also taking the Mac 90, so that way they can sit there and get that rifle experience too. So it's not just pistols, but, a rifle, because Mac 90 is my favorite.
Very cool.
Yeah, I know there's a gun range near me, and they do, I think it's like once a month, but they do a ladies' night, and they do a thing. I forget exactly how long it is, but I know they have like a introduction, like safety class type thing, beforehand, and then so that's like a classroom, and then you go out to the range, and like the however much it is, I think it's kind of pretty cheap, but whatever it is, that price pays for, well, like the class, the range time, a rental gun, and like a box of 50 rounds of ammo. And it ends up actually being like a pretty good deal if you just want to go shooting. And that's one of the things. If you're already familiar with guns, or you're like, you already sat through the classroom part once, like the next month, you just show up, whatever, half hour later, and just do the range part of it. And yeah, it ends up working out pretty good. I know of some girls that went to that with their family members and friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's all female instructors, which I think can put some people at ease. And then the other thing is, like, I was almost a little jealous, to be honest, because I'm sitting there going, like, that's a good price for, whatever it is, like an hour of shooting plus a rental and the ammo. And then they have like 2 or 3 instructors for like the whole group. And they basically, they're walking around making sure everyone's safe and whatnot, like regular stuff. But they're also actually give a little bit of like one-on-one marksmanship training. And I'm
That's
like,
pretty
so
cool.
it's range time, rental gun, ammo, and, out of the whole time, maybe they talk to you, whatever, like, 10, 15 minutes of the time, like, because they move around talking to different people, but it's like, and personal, like, one-on-one training, and the whole thing's $20. Like, God damn it, I want to go do that.
That's awesome.
One-on-one personal instruction. Pal.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's one of those things. I mean, even if you like know all this stuff, sometimes it takes someone else to like watch you and then be like, "Hey, did you realize you were like doing this with your hand or this other thing?" And you're like, "Oh, crap, I didn't see that." Like, and then you get that personal instruction, which is pretty neat. And then just for Beaver out there in the chat, he said he couldn't add events, so I went ahead and added the Vermont thing for you over on
That
Gun
is
Channels.
pretty cool.
So now that it's added,
Yeah, I
please,
wish our local gun range had ladies' day and stuff.
There's your Desert Eagle recoil system. I don't think doesn't look like something you have to replace a whole lot.
yeah, you should be fine. Get a Desert Eagle.
There's a couple guys on Gun Channels that had them, like Brandon. You might run into Brandon. He's had them. You might know.
Heck yeah.
I don't know, what are they talking about?
Man, I just like the way those look.
You gonna get a gold one? Be big pimpin'?
Those lightweight ones look pretty nice. That one Yankee has. I think it's this one.
I am not getting a gold Desert Eagle.
Why not? It'd be bling blinging.
It's just the 357.
Does IMI make a 50 cal gun? Because John's saying IMI has nice guns.
Well, they make the Desert Eagle.
Oh, there you go.
They make the. I don't think Magnum Research makes them anymore, but they make.
I guess that's what I always knew. I always knew it as Magnum Research. Did they like sell their
Yeah, like they
design to them or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. I learned something new every day in the Smeggie Cave.
Right?
And he's also saying 8 pounds on my belt. No thanks. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's why you don't put it on your belt. There we go. Now we're talking.
No, thank you.
I kind of want a gun that's in like snow camo. You know, like the blues and the whites. Like that would be pretty badass.
Airsoft. Ew. There's the Micro Eagle. It's pretty cool.
Is that Kevin's Micro Eagle?
Yeah. Kevin.
Is that what it's
It's
called?
a little
I'll take a
loose.
Kevin, please.
It gets it mixed up with the rest of his family's Micro Eagles. Deagles.
A McDeagle.
You let Kevin borrow your gun and he gives it back, and it's like that, and you're like, "Damn it, Kevin!"
Not airsoft crap.
Yeah. Well, the Deagle's very popular in the gaming community, so it makes sense that like they'd make a bunch of airsofts and stuff, and people would buy it just for like, oh, this is cool. I finally have one.
A bunch of similarly interested dudes named Ming are in a community.
It sounds like it's in Chinatown.
Hmm.
It's a dynasty.
Sometimes I don't know what's going on until I come back to the chat room. But now I understand. Oh my god. Commercials are dumb. Go back to the animals.
You watching Baby Otters?
No, I'm not sure what they're going to be showing now. I just came back. I see
Baby
a bunch of
Otters.
snow. Oh, there's some reindeers. I'm watching reindeers. Wild Scotland. Do you know they had reindeer in Scotland?
I did not.
I always think of reindeer as like, like Siberia and stuff. And like maybe like super northern Canada. I don't know, Scotland got that like far north. Iceland and Greenland and shit like that.
Well, there's polar bears, and then there's bear down here. So
That's correct, Moon. Different animals live in different habitats.
so different reindeer.
I know. I guess I understand that. What I was saying is
Like
I did
your,
not.
fake
I did not
vampire
realize that
deer
Scotland
kangaroo.
had this type of environment that reindeer live in. Like, they're digging through all this like deep snow, eating grass and stuff. I didn't realize it got like that cold up there in the winter. I don't know anything about Scotland,
They
but
got
now
some
I'm
golf
learning it has like an Arctic type zone.
Trump's got a golf course in Scotland.
Yeah, I guess I've always seen like the green hills or whatever. Like it's always like grassy and stuff.
William Wallace. He spread across Scotland or England, wherever they took him at the end of that movie, Braveheart.
I guess it's got like mountains or something. So maybe they live up in the mountains.
They're Highlanders.
That's what it looks like.
They're Highlanders. There can be only one.
There's only one reindeer?
Been like the 7 same reindeer all through the generations. They just don't behead each other.
They just
They're like, there
behead each
could be
other
only
with their
one, or
antlers.
there could be all of us if we don't kill each other. So let's just not kill each other. I'm like, okay. That never seemed like all that clear a set of rules. Like there can be only one as long as you don't quit killing each other, or as long as you keep killing each other.
Well, because each time you do, you get more powerful or whatever, right? So why not just like go, all right, how about like
just all keep the power we got?
Yeah, like we're all kind of good right now.
What are
Like
they,
we got down
commies?
to 50 people or whatever. Like let's just stick at that.
All they really had to do is kill the one bad guy before, like they all had to gang up on the one bad guy before he killed them all individually, and they could all just chilled and been fine.
Yeah, well, I guess they don't have to murder each other.
It's unrealistic though because they didn't use guns.
They had to chop their head off.
We know guns are the real murderers.
Guns with bayonets could have done it.
What if there was just only one gun and everyone had to like share? Like I think I'll defend my life today. Can I borrow the gun? No, your day is next Tuesday.
Switch days with me. I need it today.
Yeah, because we all know exactly what's going to happen in the future, since that's how we write laws to stop stuff in the future.
Today I'm going to spend $3.47, so that's what I'm going to bring. $3 bills, a quarter, 2 dimes, and 2 pennies, because that's all I'm going to do. That's from the side of you, Valley.
Oh yeah, that is a good way of saying it. Because that's the whole thing. What are you scared of? Well, nothing. Just, you never quite know. Do you know how much you're going to spend? Oh, you're carrying a credit card? What, is that like a full no-limit assault credit card?
Yeah, like,
what do you think's going to happen?
Your finances?
Like,
you're just going to go spend $1 million today? Like, what, you can't just ration it to $20? You can't bring a $20 bill. You got to bring a credit card?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Like, your tire's going to blow out and you're going to have to, like, catch a ride to the tire shop and like buy a new tire and put it on your car, and like you can't just save that money for tomorrow. Just walk where you're going.
That's what
Good
I'm
point.
saying.
Yeah, you know you're going to need all that money for your car. Just walk or Uber. Come on, there's Uber.
All these greedy people with pools and staircases and cars, just give it up.
Well, the thing is, pools are only owned by the rich, and they're responsible for most pool drownings.
Yeah, did you know that you're like,
So you
you know,
got
37.8% more likely to drown in your own pool if you have a pool? Like
Yeah,
if you
it's
don't
like the
if you don't have a
staircase.
pool, it's like statistically impossible to drown in your own pool.
Yeah. I wonder if that trick ever works on anybody. It obviously works on a lot of people because a lot of anti-gunners say it. They're like, you're statistically more likely to shoot yourself accidentally if you own a gun in the house. Yeah,
Yes, it
well,
makes
you're fucking more statistically likely to fall down the stairs if you have a staircase in your house. Moron.
Yep, that's exactly
It's
true.
like, I've been saying that to the same, well, different anti-gunners for the past 6 years. It's crazy. Their arguments haven't changed, and that's frustrating because, like, you get bogged down and distracted, and you can't, like, further the argument because they keep going back to the same shit, hoping people forgot.
Well, what it comes down to is, you know, us pro gunners that have been fighting for so long, and even like the new ones that are just getting into it and stuff. Like, you know, we've been through all the battles. Like we know all the stuff they're gonna say, and a lot of the anti-gunners, they just like they hear one thing and that like convinces them. So they're just a lot of them are just parroting what they've heard. So when you start pressing them on it, they're like, "Oh, I don't know. Like I'm not sure where that comes from, and I don't know." Because like they heard on TV one day it was like, "Oh, yeah, guns are dangerous because you're more likely to get shot if you have a gun in the house." It's like, well, yeah, no shit. That's like that is not sig a significant increase. That's basic logic. Like you will not drown in especially when they use the wording, right, with your own gun. Like you will not drown in your own pool if you know, don't own a pool. You will not be hurt in like in your car in a car accident if you don't have a car. It's like, yeah,
your own
makes sense.
statistics are accurate 100% of the time.
Well, and those ones would be accurate 100% of the time because they like you logically can't be hurt in your own car if you don't own a car. Like that doesn't exist. So it's like they set up. It's not even a what do they call it? Like a false dichotomy where it's like it's either this or this. It's like no, you've set up a moncotomy or whatever the word. It like there is no other option. You either be hurt by your own thing, or if you don't own the thing, you can't be hurt by it. So it's like you're not comparing it to anything. 100% of people with pet dragons have a higher chance of being eaten by their pet dragon. I kind of like that one. That's a good one.
I wish I had a dragon.
Fuck yeah. I had a bearded dragon for a while,
My
but
neighbor's
unfortunately he got
cats.
sick and passed away when he was still a little guy. Which apparently is like really common with lizards. Like it's one of them things, if you can like keep it alive for the first year, then they're good to go. I mean, obviously you have to have all this set up and, you know, give them all their stuff and have the lights and the food and the calcium deposits and all that shit. But anyways, like it's one of those things. Like if a lizard's gonna get sick and pass away, it's gonna do it like in its first year. So I got a little guy and was like, okay, I'll give it a try, and he didn't make it through. But then you can buy like older ones from the store, and then it's like, all right, cool. Like this thing's already like a year old or whatever, so the chances of it like getting sick or whatever is a lot lower. But the older ones are also a lot more expensive.
The bigger ones have less
Yeah.
chance of freezing to death in the cave.
That is correct. Less likely to die in the cave. But I'd like to get another lizard at some point too. And I still have like the little cage, so I don't know if I get like a little one, I could put them in there. It's easier to like keep the heat regulated and stuff when it's in a smaller thing. But my ex-brother-in-law, he used to have a water dragon, and he had like an awesome like huge cave or huge cave. He had a huge tank for it with like sliding glass front doors, which is super helpful with lizards because then you don't have to like you set the top up with all the heat lamps and all the things and everything they need, and then you don't have to like lift the top up anymore. Like I had to always like move my lamp, take the top up, feed it, like put it back down. I had my lamp on a little like boom thing, so it was like the correct distance away because you don't want it to get too hot or too cold. I mean, I had temperature sensors and humidity sensors in there to keep track. Lizards are kind of high maintenance, but once you get it set up, like they tend to be good to go. So anyways, you set the thing up and then you just slide the front door to like give them food or, you know, take them out or whatever. And you never have to mess with your lamps and your heat elements and that kind of crap. So at some point, I'd like to get another lizard. And I think I want another bearded dragon because that thing was pretty cool.
Those are pretty cool. I'll have to wait till my kids get older because, you know, they don't take care of shit right now.
Yeah. And you can get all sorts of like, you know, automatic things for it too, like that control the different temperature. And, you know, you put the lights on a timer because they're very sensitive to like, you know, getting the right amount of light each day and all that stuff. And it's basically they're very prone to like not having enough calcium. So, and because, you know, you need like the light to get the vitamin D to like synthesize calcium or whatever like that. I mean, humans do too, right? Like we need sunlight. So do lizards. And it provides heat for them. But you can get like the other heat lamps, like the red lights and stuff for at night to keep it a good temperature, even though like they're sleeping and stuff. Get little heat rocks for them to lay on. Gotta be careful of that though. Sometimes they'll burn their stomach. So like there are like if you get like a cheap like Chinese made like heat rock, they're very prone to overheating, and they can actually injure the animal. So there you go. That was your what's that called? Herbology or something? It's like lizard stuff.
Well, that's interesting. In California, herbology has a whole different meaning.
Well, that's my version of herbology, and it might not be the right word, but it's something similar to that.
Right?
Herpetology. That's your lesson for the day. All right, here we go. We got a question. I bought a safe and I need to move it. Any recommendations to make it easier?
Empty it out.
Let's assume it's empty. Let's assume he's got it as light as possible.
What kind of safe?
Use a dolly.
What kind of safe? That's Sparta. That's Sparta, I guess. I would say my advice is have strong friends. But there are definitely tricks.
You can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get one of those, kind of like for moving a refrigerator or those big appliances. You can go rent one of their dollies for like $40.
You definitely want an appliance dolly, not just a hand truck, because it'll have that. Well, first it'll be strong enough, it won't tweak, but it'll also have those little kickstand wheels, and those are super valuable.
Yes.
So that it doesn't, because once you start tipping it and then it ends up like falling down on its side, you're pretty much screwed. So having like the one that kick out the back.
I don't like moving them onto an angle unless you have to. So, did he say how big it is? How heavy it is?
You said it's 450 pounds empty.
And then, anyway, so the other option is just you can, I use PVC pipe, the gray kind. Just get some pieces that are smaller than the safe, and then you move it like the Egyptians. You get like 3 of those, and you can move it pretty much anywhere, any size safe. People use golf balls, but you gotta be careful because a golf ball, if it works its way to the edge, it'll sometimes poke out, like shoot out the side and knock a TV down or something. So I recommend the PVC more than golf balls. Also, golf balls tend to leave like the golf ball marks all over a wood floor, where the PVC will pretty much roll over carpet and tile and stuff, no problem. And if you're going over something fragile like wood or fancy tile, something like cardboard will protect it with PVC. If it's it's no big deal, then golf balls can work. But like I say, just be careful you don't lose track of how many are under there. And if you ever get like one towards a corner, be careful because weird pivot and then that thing shoots out.
And then you might even like squish your toe or something too if it ends up falling. Like, if you're not careful and you're pushing, you get your foot under there, then the golf ball kicks out and it smashes your toe. That wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, that'd suck.
So yeah, I like the pipe idea because it distributes that weight over that whole.
We delivered the fourth largest safe. We delivered the 4th largest safe that Fort Knox had made at the time to a place, and it was soft pea gravel, and then a concrete thing, and then a little tiny lip into a patio door, and then over carpet, and then over tile, and we did it all with PVC.
Now let me ask you this.
Fort Knox ever made.
This is my personal question because I've been thinking of getting a nice big Fort Knox safe because I do like Fort Knox, U.S. made, U.S. steel, all that good stuff.
Fort Knox's are vaults, safes are safes.
Okay, so there you go. So I'm looking at getting a vault, and the problem is no matter what door I come in, no matter where, like how I do it, I'm dealing with steps and a lot of steps because I have a quad level. So what are your recommendations for getting? Let's say down steps, because basically I could come in the back door and then that all just be down. I wouldn't have to go up. If I come in the front door, I have to go up the porch and then go back down.
Yeah, that you wouldn't want to go down your back porch thing. That's horrible. You want to get somebody to move out for you. They make like a robot thing that can hold onto a safe and then do stairs by itself. Kind of.
It's got like is that the one that's got like 3 wheels or whatever? So it drops the ones down and then like moves over.
Yeah, so find out if somebody has one of them around. That'd be the easiest way. Otherwise, you can get it into place and knock it over and just try to push it up. But when you get into a real vault, Fort Knox with real weight in it, it's heavy. It's heavy. And
right.
What you're going to do, you get it halfway up a staircase. What are you going to do to stop it from rolling down? It's just your back. So it's always dangerous to do stairs. Plus, you got to make sure that wherever you're putting it can handle it. You're putting a lot of weight in one little spot on wood usually.
Right. Well, I had forgotten that you've seen my house. So if you remember, I'm thinking of putting it just in the lower level. I'm either going to do a smaller one and put it in my gun room, in which case then I just have a couple corners to go around, or I'm actually kind of considering getting a big one. I have this big empty wall between like my kitchen and like the stairs that go up to my living room. I might just put it there as like a feature of the room.
Yeah.
In which case, then all I have to do is, I guess you're saying, kind of come in. The front door is probably easier than that back. Because I was worried about that. I have like.
Is there a garage?
I have a garage. I don't want a safe in the garage, though.
But I mean, does the garage have a door to the house?
No, the door to the garage goes into that back porch, and then you go down steps and come in the back door at the lower level.
Well, that's probably the way you'd have to do it then. To put it where you're talking about in the kitchen, because you're not going to come in your front door. That's going up and then crooked and then through that shitty carpet. That carpet's the hardest carpet to go through.
Yeah, I have carpet everywhere because I like my toes being squishy. I don't like hardwood floors.
Well, but then I'm just saying that's the hardest to get the rollers to go through with a lot of weight on them. And it's white, so you'd fuck it all up for sure. So I'd say going around the back ain't going to be easy, but that's the way to do it. And then leave it there and sell it.
Yeah, that's. I almost bought a house that had a safe and a pool table, and both came with the house because they're like, we are never moving these again. And I'm like, fuck yeah, like this is awesome. But it ended up, I don't know, I didn't go with that one. I forget why. I forget if there was something else I didn't like about it, or if I like it got sold before I could put a bid in or something. I forget. But I didn't get that house. It wasn't in the best area either, though. Like it was a little further down the road than I would have liked to have been. Because that's the thing, as like it really is interesting as you get closer to Detroit, like every mile road over, like it's a little bit worse as you go. That's like I heard a thing about Warren. Warren is the city that is north of Detroit. You guys might know it from fame of Eminem, right? 8 miles the divider. So you go north of 8 Mile, you're in Warren. South of 8 Mile, you're in Detroit. And Warren has a very interesting dynamic where the average household income goes up $10,000 every mile north you go. So if you live between 8 and 9 Mile, you know, you have whatever household income of, I don't know, whatever, let's say 40,000. And you go north of 9 Mile, you're at 50,000. North of 10, you're 60,000. Like you keep going. And so once you get to like the north part of Warren, those are like big ass, like nice houses. Like the houses cost, you know, $200,000-$300,000. And like,
I would move to 20th Mile then.
Yeah, that's basically that's the idea. Just keep going up. So, but it's interesting that someone, you know, found that statistic, and it's like that's a pretty big jump. I mean, I understand like as you get in nicer areas, like the average income goes up and stuff, but like $10,000 a mile apart from each other, like that's a big difference from one side of the road to the other. And it's obviously not exact. It's not like, you know, you're walking down the street and all of a sudden you get more money. Like, oh, you have to make $10,000 more dollars. What's your average income? Okay, you can afford to be north of 9 Mile. Oh, you got a promotion? Well, you better move to 10 Mile. Get out of the neighborhood. Yes, fine ape, Detroit Rock City. God damn it. I hate when the nature shows turn into the vet shows. I don't want to watch vet shows. I want to go back to seeing reindeer in Scotland. Guess I'll go check BBC. See if they're showing Planet Earth. Nope. I wonder if there's a hockey game on tonight. Oh, maybe. No. Nope, there's not. So, anyway. So, I'm glad. I hope we helped you with moving your safe. And hopefully you don't have to do stairs. Yeah, when I was like really looking, I had some extra money sitting around, and I was like, all right, I'm pulling the trigger on the safe. And I figured out which one I wanted, or vault, I should say. And I was like, good to go. And it's like, I found a place and they had like a delivery thing where it's like, yeah, we can do like curbside, like front door, or, in the spot you want it. And I think it was, I forget, like 100 and some bucks more, like to get it in the spot you want it versus just dropping it off. But I'm like, that's probably pretty good money well spent.
Oh yeah, $100 ain't nothing. I would get $100 as my cut to move a safe. Thinking they were charging like $350.
Well, I'm saying that was it was that much like more. Like it was still a bunch just to get it like delivered to your door versus like they pull the truck up and say, "Okay, come get your safe."
Yeah.
So it's like it was however much just to even like we'll kind of move it, and then it's like, "Oh, you want it in the house? Like a couple $100 more." It's like, okay. But it's also one of them things. If you're spending a few $1,000s on a safe, a couple $100 percent wise isn't that much more for avoiding all that hassle. Oh man, what else is going on in the gun world? Fine Ape used his tractor, plywood, a 2x4 sled, and he got it in his basement. Well, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Oh, he also has deer in his backyard. Took you longer to get the safe off the trailer than in the basement. Well, yeah, it's just going down. It should be pretty easy to get it down into a basement. Slide that bitch down.
Easier to up. Worse will happen, it'll go down faster.
Oh man.
This whole time I've been killing videos. I'll be through 3,500 right now.
I mean taking videos off your page?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
There's a 30 so far, so 360. 380. Like, oh, I made that video. Oh, I made that video. Like, walk down memory lane. Delete everything. Oh, there goes the first video I ever posted on YouTube, June 6, 2008.
Oh, snap. What was it?
Not suitable. It was my screensaver, 5 minutes of my screensaver with this song that got copyrighted like in 2008. So it's never made a dime. 4,000 views though, so nobody ever watched it. And then a video with like about 70 hats in it. I posted in 2009. And then SHOT Show 2006 video. And now I have, let's see. I keep saying I have 500 videos. So let's see how the fuck that keeps coming. So every time I go in and filter it to public over here, it'll come up with like a new list of shit that ain't.
So I'm gonna jump to your channel on my phone, see if I see stuff that shows up.
It's like it's mostly gun chats at this point. The original gun chats. First 200 of them. We were still calling it gun chat. Daily gun chat. I don't know when we started calling it Daily Gun Show.
I'm seeing a video from 8 years ago called 500th video for gun websites. So you apparently had 500 videos 8 years ago.
Back when it was still fun. Upload failed. Duplicate post. What is this?
Yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of videos on your channel.
Yeah, I keep deleting them. Like I say, every time I go over, it says there's still 500.
I wonder, can you only do 500 at a time or something?
I do 30 at a time. It's fucked up. It takes forever. I've done 400, I guess, at this point. You know, it takes, like, I can select 30, delete. It takes a while to do it. Select 30, delete. It takes a little while to do it. Select 30.
Oh, you have a video about the Desert Eagle from 6 years ago. Oh, this video is unavailable. What? Then why'd you show it to me?
They're probably still figuring out their, you know, when I'm in the middle of deleting them, they can take some minutes for their system to flush with what's, you know, on the different things to try. They must have. I can't imagine how they gotta be things out there that are crazy.
What? You had some type of trick question? Oh, I can't see that one either.
So it's showing a bunch of videos, but none of them are there. Or a few of them. So it takes all this fucking time to delete.
And it wouldn't let me, like, it doesn't load up like where I could do comments or like any of that stuff. It says you have 535 videos.
So now this, according to this, I just did the last 4 that are public. There's that 500 video one. So whenever this is done,
I'm like racing to the bottom, like I want to see a video before it gets deleted.
all right, so now I'll go back to videos. And up here it tells you how many you got up in the little tab. So I'm saying 563, like it went up. So then I'll go to view and go to public. It's not showing me public videos. 563 still. I'm leaving this front page ones because they're nothing. See some patches in the castle. I don't think they'll ding me for the castle. I keep trying to turn this one off. I don't know why I don't. Get rid of here a second.
All right, guys, y'all have a good evening. I got to get ready and go drive drunk people around for Uber.
Right on. You do Uber?
Yeah.
I didn't know. You know Dan who does it. Have you ever talked to him about it?
No, I actually just started the 22nd. And so
Is it
it
treating
seems
you
like
good
a
so
pretty
far?
good way. Yeah, I really like it. I had one dumb chick yesterday that tried telling me that the pistol on my t-shirt was a fully semi-automatic. Other than that, I haven't had to deal with any stupid people. Yeah, she tried calling my Burst of Thunder a fully semi-automatic, and I was just like, "Oh, sweetie, just stop. You're special."
Oh, bless your heart.
Exactly. Bless your heart. You're dumber than dirt.
Which is like the most, condescending thing you can ever say to someone.
Exactly. Gotta love that Southern compliment. And I'll insult somebody by being like, "Oh, bless your heart," or you can compliment somebody by like, "Oh, bless your heart." It's
Or
all
you're
about
just so
tone.
precious. Like, yeah, I know
Yes.
what that means. All right, well, have fun.
Have fun, make money.
All right. You guys have a good night, and I will see y'all later.
Yep, see ya.
Like, how the hell did all these mini revolver ones stay in there? Clashing. What? Probably should
You park next to the drag strip or something? I mean, it's one thing to have car noise, but it sounds like people are freaking taking off next to you.
There's a light over here, and maybe it's getting to be rush hour, so they're all like angry. This is Phoenix, where all those anti-gunners are, so they're probably violent, horrible people. There's at least 10 to 15,000 violent, horrible people in this town that hate their own rights so much they want to take yours.
Well, then I guess that makes sense. I've always wondered that when people talk about like, oh, concealed carry, you shoot someone over a parking spot or something. It's like, are you projecting? Like, are you the type of person to shoot someone over a parking spot? Therefore, you assume that I would? Like, I've never understood that. I don't carry a gun to shoot people I disagree with. I do it to like save my life. But I feel like that's their mentality. Like, well, if I had one and I got mad, I would shoot a person. Like, well, I guess I'm glad you don't have one then. Like, I'm glad you made that choice. I think that maybe if they did get one, they would realize the severity of it and maybe change their mind. It's kind of like, I don't know, like people that don't have kids, like, well, if I was a parent, I'd do this. And it's like, yeah, but then when they actually do have kids, they realize that's not what they end up doing. Like that type of thing. I think it's kind of the same thing. Someone that actually did start carrying probably would shape up a little bit and realize what they were doing. I hope.
Oh, I dozed off there. Holy shit. This fucking thing would hit.
What? You just fell asleep a second ago?
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, oh, wait, I'm sitting here sleeping and falling and sitting there. It's hot out, dude.
Oh, you need a siesta?
No, I'm just don't have AC in here, and it's nice, but it's enough that when I'm sitting here watching this thing spin around, it's hypnotizing and I fall asleep.
okay. I only kind of take that as a personal insult that I'm being boring.
I'm not saying that. Just the subject matter. I'm interested in I'm not interested in guns anymore, so I'm deleting those videos.
Yeah, well, I mean, guns aren't cool anymore, so I can
And then
see
just
how
think about California. The CAVA. Like, somehow I'm going to make a clever California blog about Cavlog. Cavlog. That's what I'll call it.
Russ says he's just leaving Phoenix right now.
Yeah. And then, where am I? I think I'm right by the airport. I think I'm right downtown by Jenny's Cave. I think I'm going to head over to Fry's and see if they've got microphones. Let see what the prices are. I got microphones at home. I could just put a fucking microphone in here and see if that makes it better. Then decide if I'm going to be glad. Maybe just having a microphone would be better than the random noise, the computer's trying to do too much or something.
Right. Did you have any headsets or anything? Those tend to
I
be
used to use those, but I haven't used them in a while, so I'd have to buy them.
Hey, DB says you.
What happened?
I don't know. DB's on the gun channel side. And he just typed you. So you know how weird he is. I never have any idea what he's talking about.
Maybe yo with an extra spelling error.
I guess it's possible. He is kind of dumb.
Or else that's some new vernacular from the streets.
Yeah, I'm not hip. Yes, there will be a daily gun show.
Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't there be? Who's asking that? Who's putting that speculation out there?
What? Morpheus says, do you do a daily gun show Friday nights?
We do.
Yeah, Monday through Friday. I am never in Friday's show because I like to go sing my little snowman butt off, but
Then he's getting ready for the Moon and Smeggie show on Saturday, and then we have Revenge Chat on Sundays. Every single day, something awesome.
yes, there is always something awesome. And I sent DB a link just for the hell of it, even though he didn't ask for one. He's volunteering it.
You probably can't handle a link to this chat. The way we talk about guns. Shit. Feel like a little kid used to the kiddie pool getting thrown in with the Olympic swimmers in the deep end. We're diving for them bricks at the bottom and then swimming in the shit. Diving board.
What?
What? Yep. You.
Is this his chat? Smeggie channel?
This is the Smeggie channel.
It's the Smeggie Cave, bro.
Okay. This is the Smeggie Cave. Only check. Only chicks coming here now. That's crazy.
I do have a lot of chicks coming into the Smeggie Cave. That is a true statement.
Yeah, better than coming in your cave. Ha ha! Ba-dum-bum. You know what I'm saying? Fine. If you don't like my sense of humor,
I'm sorry. Was I supposed to like laugh more or something? Like
you're supposed to be, oh my god, that's so clever, so smart, so witty.
that's like the funniest thing I ever heard, DB. You're so awesome.
You should be like, ha, you're the witty.
Anything new going on that side of the Mississippi?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, they're coming for our guns.
Is Georgia having anti-gun shit going through also? I don't think I've ever seen anything on Georgia.
I don't think so. At least I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, it's fucked up. They're coming for our guns now. David Hogg. David, is that his name?
Yeah.
Did you see his video where he's saying the same thing over differently, like 30 times?
I have
haven't
not.
seen
I tend to
He's
avoid
rehearsing
seeing
for
his
his
shit.
TV spot. Oh, this is great. Like, what a robot. He's rehearsing, gonna say something. And he's like, I was standing there when he was shooting. And then he's like, he was shooting and I was just standing there. Wait, he's like, let me see. I was standing there, minding my own business, and he was started shooting. Wait, and then like he would redo it. Like he just kept redoing it. Yeah. You're dealing with a perfectionist. He's a perfectionist when it comes to his stories, you know what I'm saying?
His lies? Because last I heard, like he wasn't even in the same area or whatever.
Well, I think it was like, I was standing there when I heard his shooting start. And then he's like, wait, when the shooting started, I was standing there in the hall, right? Whatever. It was ridiculous, dude. It's like a total talking robot, like trying to malfunctioning robot. Anyway, he's coming for our guns, dude. There's nothing you can do about it. Just give up now. There's no worries. You don't need that shit. You don't need your Makarov and your fucking VZ-58 and your bow and arrow. Your bow and arrow is for hunting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but so is other stuff.
I was listening to primary and secondary last night, and they were getting all radical and shit. And then someone was like, "Man, like imagine if these teenagers had all that kind of money for the posters, the logos, the fucking websites, the private planes, the all this stuff." I mean, props to them, man. Like they did it right this time, you know. Bloomberg and those fuckers. Anyway, you want to talk about guns? Hey, guns. Here we go. Here's guns. Trying to think. What did I get recently? Oh, I sold a bunch of shit. I don't own any guns anymore. But
Hey, I'm curious what those primary, secondary people said about this whole thing, though. Are they like, yeah, it's no big deal? Are they like, oh, this is the end of guns? Or are they like, told you so? Or what are they saying?
there's like no collective. That would be like, I wonder what Gun Channels is saying, because then you
Okay.
same thing. There is no like actual. No one can be anybody else with themselves. But there was a panel, and the whole panel, you know, had different things to say. But one guy was just like getting radical. Like they'll never, like I'll, you know,
Like pack your bags.
Yeah, pack your bags time. That guy Ash, who's pretty high up in the United States military, and he was involved in the trials for the pistol and all that stuff. He was like just talking about it's going to come down to the police's. It's the police responsibility. Like, unfortunately, now with like cameras, body cams, and stuff, you know, it's a little harder for the cops to have discretion. But like back in the day, I guess cops would have been like, "Hey, man, I don't believe in this shit that's going on. You know, I pulled you over for a traffic light. You have a Glock 19. They've been banned. You were supposed to turn them in last week or whatever, you know, but just go home." You know what I'm saying? Like with the body cameras and the microphones and shit, it'll be impossible for cops to like let you off the hook on this stuff. You know what I mean? If in the future, in the next 10, 20 years, they did something like that, and you were a good guy, a law enforcement guy who was a good guy, and you pulled somebody over and they just happened to like have like a 15-round mag and they're supposed to have 10, but it's a felony now. It would be nice if that cop could, at his own discretion, go, "Hey, you know what? Go home. You know, you're not supposed to have this. Just go home." I thought that was interesting because, yeah, with the body cameras and all that shit, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Because I mean, they used to, they do that kind of stuff with like, whatever, you're speeding, hey, just slow down a little bit or whatever, right? Like, I mean, sometimes they even let you go on that kind of stuff. But if now, you're right, if all that stuff's recorded, they can't just be like, well, I decided not to give them a felony, like whatever. They'll end up getting in trouble for not doing stuff.
Yeah, that's just one aspect of how it's gonna suck if they do it this time. There are sheriffs in, you know, counties that are like, we're not gonna enforce that shit, you know. But we'll see.
Well, I saw a thing on Instagram of like the first person has been like charged with bump stock ownership. I guess it was a couple from Texas, and then they were up in Maryland. But I don't know.
There's some guy in Duck Broker right now selling one for $650. So I don't know what's going on. They're not illegal right now, right?
There are some states where they're illegal, but not federally speaking. No, it's still open to public comment until June, and then they'll, solidify it after that, and then they'll be illegal federally speaking because they'll be considered a full automatic. And since they were made after 86, it's not even like, that was something I meant to mention the other day, although I don't like this option. You remember we were making fun of how they only gave like 3 alternatives, which was like do nothing. People can go to gun ranges and rent full auto, so it's no big deal. Or people can still use belt loops and rubber bands and stuff, so it's, we're not hurting anybody. And I thought of another option, which would be interesting just to see what they thought of it, was just what if you like suspended the Hughes Amendment for a little bit and gave a grace period and like let people get full auto tax stamps for their bump stocks? Like I said, I don't necessarily want that to happen, but it'd be better than being like, hey, you gotta destroy all this shit. Like, just anyone who has one will give you a free full auto tax stamp. That'd be kind of cool. Well, not cool, but it's better than nothing.
Hello?
Yeah. I guess no one likes my idea. So. Oh, well.
Your idea. I don't know what your idea was. DB didn't like it very much.
Oh. Why, did DB leave or something? Is he gone?
He just left already.
Oh, bastard. I was just saying, remember when we were talking about the options on the bump stock thing? And one of the alternatives I think would be give like a NFA amnesty and give everyone tax stamps that have bump stocks. Like, just give it to them.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely another option that's viable. That doesn't cost anybody anything. It's a great idea. I don't know why they didn't put that in there. It is stupid.
Yeah, that'd be alternative number 4. I like your alternative of here's an alternative, just repeal the NFA. That's a good alternative as well. So, yeah, I've been thinking up different things to say for the comments. I'm going to hit them with a bunch of different ones. But
it's public search.
And Nick out there is, he's basically, boiling down the conversation. If you listen to like some of the same people on the left, is Trump is literally Hitler. Cops are racist murderers. Give up all your guns to them. Like, they'll protect you. And that's the thing. I really like the Owen Benjamin video where it's time, and he starts, Trump is literally Hitler, and then he goes, it's time to give your guns to Hitler. And he like edits a bunch of like other people's like responses and stuff. Pretty funny. Yeah, repealing the NFA is the best choice. I completely agree. Get rid of that fucker.
I like the way this chick's telling me to go to you and me.
What? Some chicks yelling at you?
She's all happy about you to me. I don't like saying you to me. Come on, is this ever going to go anywhere? Am I not connected to the internet anymore?
Oh, I still hear you, so. You're at least somewhat connected. YouTube could just be dumb. Yeah. So I guess you were right. This is too much real talk for DB to handle.
Yeah, I was kind of curious what those people at think they're so good at S.com or whatever think about what's going on. They're probably mostly cops, so it could easily be like, doesn't affect me.
What are you doing looking at my channel?
I'm not trying to get to my fucking channel. Your fucking channel showing up on my fucking shit. Seeing if this will fucking work, yo. Why can't it go to my channel? It's open. Oh, look at my channel finally. There. That's all my videos now. Done.
You're gonna leave up Robot Assassins? They'll probably flag you for that one.
Probably will.
Yep. That's it. That's all she wrote.
Took like 9 years to post them, and it took like 4 days worth of sitting there deleting them. Certainly no money coming in from YouTube anymore.
Yep. Well, it was already pre-owned anyways, right?
Yeah, they paid the electric and the phone, so electric and a phone bill to pay.
It's an interesting way to describe a shield. Nick is saying, I can't get over how small and adorable my shield is. Okay.
Well, if you put it next to a real size gun, it looks like a baby gun. Or at least a teenage gun.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely tiny. Although out of all the small guns, that's one of the ones that like I don't know what it is about it. Like I could still get a pretty decent grip on it and all that stuff, even though it is tiny. Ooh. Yep, being stuck in traffic's always fun, Russ. Sorry.
Is there people on the side? Is there some kind of lobby going?
I don't know. I think Knives was doing a thing earlier. Of course, let me see. Let me get into his channel.
Is there anybody chatting over on the text?
No, not really. I mean, YouTube's got a couple people, but I've pretty much been reading off
Everything.
see what Knives is up to. Oh no, his isn't live anymore. Huh. But I was actually just about to, I think, gonna shut this down. I might go grab some dinner and stuff before I go out tonight.
Right on. Well, have fun.
Oh. All right,
Thanks.
we'll see all you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining in and talking, the people who did. And we'll see y'all later.